Well, hey, it's good to see you, Ashton. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I know you're a busy, very busy guy, but I just wanted to get touch base with you, get some feedback on the program. You've been in the program 3-4 months now, and if you could remember back to when you started the program, maybe what were your expectations? What did you think you were getting yourself into, and then kind of we'll go from there.
I had it in my head, all right, if I run 10 appointments, maybe I'll have two or three good ones, they'll turn into something, but the numbers were actually higher than that. I mean, I was surprised at how many opportunities. When I say that, I mean that there was actually something that could be done with that meeting. Like there's somebody had something I could probably help them with. I thought it'd be maybe three or four, maybe out of 10.
Yeah.
And it was more like 7 or 8. There was an opportunity. Didn't mean I was going to get 7 or 8, but it meant that there was a shot. There was something that could be done.
Yeah, and you're you've got a lot of experience. You've been around a while. You've seen a lot of cases. So for you coming into the program, from the time you hit go, how long did it take you to write an app? How long till you closed the deal?
Okay, so it was my second week. I wrote 2 apps. There were a couple of IULs for a couple of employees that were contributing to a 457 plan.
2 weeks is quick too. In fact, you're probably one of the quickest guys because you run an appointment, you've got to follow up a week later. So that's about as fast as you can do it. So that's good to hear, man. What were some of the things that you liked about the training program, the coaching calls? Any feedback on that?
Yeah, so the training was extremely thorough. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with running lots of appointments on phone, in person, all that. So if somebody was newer, it was great because you covered A to Z. There was no, there's no area that you'd wonder, well, I don't know how to do that. He skipped over that area. It was very thorough. But the important things that I needed were all there, right? The things that I wanted to know. And then I think what was important, the open mic calls were good. You'd hear some people ask some of the same questions and stuff that maybe you had. But then it was nice being able to call you a couple times and ask those real specific questions about a situation that you just want a quick answer. I don't want to dig through all the videos and all the stuff to find that little answer.
Yeah, man, that's cool. That's what the Voxer group is for. That's what the support is for. I find that agents fail when they don't have access to information. They run into a problem, they don't know how to solve it, and they go, oh, well, I'll just go on to the next lead, or I'll figure it out later. And so that's what I tried to do, is eliminate the missing information and speed up the amount of. We don't got to wait for the weekly meeting. You can get the information, right now. So that's good, man. What about your ROI? Do you have any numbers on your overall return? Because at the end of the day, that's what everybody wants to know. How much money did you make as a percentage from participating or from running these type of appointments?
Well, I'm probably consistently at about 300 or 400% ROI on a weekly basis on average, right? But I've got one huge case right now. I think we're rolling about 800 grand on one case, so obviously that's going to blow all the numbers off, right? But there was a lot that I didn't really go after in the beginning. A little 19,000, 7,000, 22,000, which I typically don't operate in. A lot of those I just kind of move on. I'm like, oh yeah. But I started saying, well, you don't want to leave that over there. Let's roll that into something you control, and they're like, okay. So, and those add up, right? They're little, but they add up. And then I was like, wait a minute, on a little life sale or whatever, I'm making $1,000 or $2,000. Why not roll a tiny annuity and make $1,000, $2,000,
Yeah.
I just had to shift my paradigm.
Yeah. That's part of the problem, or like one of the downfalls of this program is, for myself included, is you start to get lazy, and then you start to get picky about which cases you want, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to do the paperwork for this much premium or this much of a rollover. I know exactly what you mean, man. Looking back, if you had something to say to guys that were considering this program, and you're like, you've been around the block, you've worked with a lot of different lead sources, you currently use other lead sources. What would stand out about this one, or what would you say to the guy that maybe doesn't have a bunch of of stuff in the pipeline, considering getting going with this?
Well, I think it's probably the best pipeline starter out there, 30 days or less. And you said it in the training really well. If you go in there to how can I solve this person's problems? How can I answer the questions they have? The opportunities will reveal themselves. But if you go in there only looking for a sale, they're going to pick up on that.
Yeah.
That's been, all my clients never even realize they're being sold till after we're going to write an app. They're like, "Oh, you do that?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that for you." They're like, "Oh, okay, awesome." At the end, they're saying, "Well, who should I go get to do that for me?" I said, "Well, I can do that for you."
Yeah.
Because I take on the role of a consultant, right? Not as a salesperson.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you've done everything right, and that's what I coach in the program, and part of that sales process is when you get to the point where they go, well, how do I do that? Or how do I get that done? Or where do I find that at? Or who can help me with that? You know that they know they're not in a sales cycle. They're not just there for you to push a product on them.
Right.
You've led them, to water, so to speak, and now they want to drink. Now they want to act on that information. So that's awesome, man. And particularly for guys like you, the program works really, really well when you take it from that standpoint.